Babe, if you're not ready, then we can always take more time. It doesn't have to be this weekend. My parents can wait.
It's okay. I'm sorry for yelling at you back then.
It's fine, but I was hoping you could tell me how you feel. I'm sorry for being clueless.
You are doing everything you can, Eric. I don't know. There are times when I get incredibly anxious just thinking about meeting them. You did say your father was in the military, and I don't think he's going to like me.
He is a hard nut to crack, but that doesn't mean he's going to hate you. When it comes to a disciplined lifestyle, he is pretty strict about it, but he can be flexible when needed.
Well, you did tell me they wanted you to date a more traditional, soft-spoken girl. I'm far from that.
Before meeting you, I did tell you I used to go out with other soft, shy kinds of girls. My parents even liked a few of them, but they were just not my type. I wanted to be with someone adventurous, someone feisty, who likes to break the rules.
That's why you should be worried. I am the exact opposite. I run a freaking bar in LA, and I'm also a pole dancer who does not shy away from presenting her talents. Don't you think I should, change up a little bit just for the time being?
Really, Samantha? If you're saying you're going to change yourself for my parents' sake, you're not as bright as I thought. What do you think of me? Do you think I want you to go look for a better job and dump the business you spent years on so you can settle down and run a family with me?
No, you idiot. I'm sorry for not wording it right. I know you will never ask me to do it.
Then why are you suddenly judging yourself?
I'm not judging myself, Eric. In fact, I'm proud of what I do, and I know so are you. It's just that I want to play safe for the time being. I know families can be complicated. There is a reason why I broke off all contact with my mom, because she had way too many unrealistic expectations of me. But you are not me, Eric. Unlike me, who prefers to run away, you accept people for who they are and try to understand them. And, well, even though you don't have that close a relationship with your father, I know he means a lot to you. I don't mean to sound like a bitch or anything, but I don't want to put you in a difficult spot.
And this is precisely why I never want you to change yourself. You are perfect, just the way you are. Sure, I don't have the whole buddy-buddy relationship with my father, but I do have a lot of respect for him, and I want him to accept you just as you are. I always looked up to him when I was a child and mostly did things to get his approval. Sure, to this day, I'm struggling to get that "I'm proud of you" out of him, but staying with you is supposed to be my choice. I don't want my father to dictate this part of my life.
All right, then. Let's go meet your parents. I'm not going to chicken out this time.
Atta girl. I knew you could do it.
You've got yourself a pretty feisty girlfriend, young man.
Uh-huh. I sure have. Lucky me.
And, Eric, your father is proud of you. I'm sure of it.
I'm not sure about that, but thanks, babe.
All right, I should get some sleep now. The big day is just around the corner. I gotta look my best.
You always look beautiful.
In your eyes, dear, your parents sure are not going to be impressed if they see me walk down the aisle in my pajamas.
I'll still marry you.
I love you, my hopelessly romantic man.
I love you too. Good night, babe. I first saw Samantha almost 4 years ago in a bar where she was beating up a guy for harassing her friend. The crowd cheered for her while the man beneath her squirmed in pain. I was visiting there with my ex, but after that incident, I could not stop thinking about her. While my ex was quite disturbed by her rather masculine and upfront behavior, I couldn't help but smile every time I thought of that night. She left a strong impression on me, and honestly, I felt entirely drawn to her. As days passed, I only kept thinking about her, and after a few months, I decided to break up with my ex. My dad and mom weren't happy, as she was one of my dad's friend's daughters, and they chose her for me, but that time, I stood up for myself. I told them I would date someone to whom I'm genuinely attracted, and luckily enough, my mom supported my choice, and convinced Dad too. Almost a year later, when I transferred to LA, I met Samantha again, in her bar. She was pole dancing, and in that instant, I knew I was in love with her. She was that spark that I had been missing all my life. She excited me, and I had never felt so alive before. Soon, I introduced myself to her, and, well, miraculously, she found my awkward flirtation cute. We started meeting more, and soon enough, we were dating. She balanced me perfectly, and the mere thought of her made me do things out of my comfort zone. I started to explore life more because of her, making me fall even harder for her. For the last 2.5 years, we have been dating, and recently, when I finally proposed to her, she said yes. However, the problem was that I never really introduced her to my parents. My parents did know I was dating someone, but Samantha was worried they would not accept her, and that was why we delayed the meeting for so long. Because her experience in the past was not so positive, she thought my rather strict parents would reject her as well. But I wanted my parents to meet this woman, to see how amazing and talented she is, and why their son fell for someone like her. I wanted to show her off to the world and scream how much I loved her. As nervous as we were, when the weekend came and I introduced Samantha to my parents, I felt so relieved. My mom was impressed by how talented she was. Though my dad seemed still, his face clearly said he did not like her. Samantha noticed that too, but we kept calm at that moment. But when Dad and I had some alone time, I heard him mutter, "I expected better from you, son. She seems like a loose woman." I was shocked to hear that. "What did you say?" "I've met women like her before. As long as you're having fun with them, it's all right. But having a family, it won't work out," he remarked with a frown. I took in a sharp breath to keep my composure. "Wow, I can't believe I'm hearing this from you." His cold eyes made my spine shiver. "You are the son of a former military man. You should know when to have fun and when to get serious." I had heard enough. It infuriated me. Hearing him talk about my fiancée as if she was an object that I was investing in. All I wanted was his blessings, but if he was going to judge her based on nonsensical stereotypes, then I didn't need them anymore. I just wanted him to be happy for me. But here as well, he was applying his moral principles as if I was his puppet. Without replying to anything, I just banged my hand on the table and walked away from there. My mother noticed it and tried to stop me, but I no longer wanted to listen.
"Honey, please, you know how your father can sometimes be. He did not mean anything. Please, talk to me. You are not even receiving my calls."
He called her a slut, Mom, and asked me to get serious now. What the fuck is wrong with him?
"Eric, language. He is your father. It would be best if you did not use such profanities for him."
I love Samantha, Mom, and I will marry her. You guys can't stop me.
"We are not. Really. I talked to your father, and he feels terrible for what he said about her. Your father has always been like this. He is a man of solid principles, and sometimes it's hard for him to accept these new changes in the world."
Mom, what Samantha does, that isn't unusual. She's a successful businesswoman who started everything on her own.
You know it's not about her business. It's about her somewhat questionable hobby and her outgoing personality.
Pole dancing isn't questionable, Mom. And let's say, even if she were a stripper, I'd still have married her.
Don't spout such nonsense, Eric. You are not a kid anymore. Listen, whatever happened, let bygones be bygones. Your father is sorry for what he said, and he'd like to meet Samantha again. If you really want to marry her, you need his approval too. He is your father. Always remember that.
Tell him not to talk about her like this ever again.
He won't. You can talk to him about this, but please be understanding. He is also growing old. Don't hurt his sentiments. He loves you. That's why he is willing to change. I hope you haven't told Samantha about this ordeal.
I could never. It would have broken her heart. She wanted to impress you guys. She was asking me when we could revisit you guys. She doesn't want to give up. She wants to be a part of our family.
She will get plenty of chances. Bring her here again, okay? And talk to your father, too.
Okay. Thanks, Mom.
I love you, my boy.
Love you too. Bye. When I called Dad, the first thing he said to me was sorry. I had never heard him sound so apologetic, but today he did. We had a long conversation after that, where I explained to him how much this mattered to me. He told me the same thing and said he would change for the better too. I was glad he would give Samantha and me a chance, but still, I couldn't help but feel like he was forcing himself. More than happy, he was distressed. In the end, he gave me his usual speech on morals and stuff, and told me that I should behave like the man in the relationship. It irritated me a bit, but I managed to unhear his words this time. As long as he was accepting of Samantha and me, I was happy. I want my father to participate in my happiness, and hopefully he will soon celebrate it with me.
How did the meeting go with the parents?
I think Eric's father doesn't like me. Shit.
Don't stress it too much, Sam. Give it some time. It's generally not easy to earn their approval in such a short period.
Man, Eric is such a patient and calm man. I could never live in such a strict household.
I could imagine, LOL.
But I still want them to approve of us. It means a lot to Eric. His family loves him, and I can see why he respects his father so much.
He is a lucky man. He got someone as understanding as you.
I've never been so happy before, Frida, and I can't believe I'll marry him soon. All those bastards I once dated, all of them judged me. They never stood up for me. But Eric always treated me with respect. Even his mother was kind to me. They may be a little conservative, but at least they did not treat me as trash.
Girl, please, don't put yourself down like this. You deserve to be respected like any other human being. Okay, whatever. Did you guys click any pictures? I'd like to see what that grouchy old couple looks like.
Wait, I'll share it. Samantha shares the picture of Eric's parents. Doesn't his father look scary? LOL, even I was scared.
I know him.
Huh? How?
Remember 3 years ago when I told you I met this older man at a bar in New York?
What the hell? Was it him?
Yeah, it was him. Shit, Sam. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said this to you.
Do you still have that pendant with you?
Yeah? Why?
Send me a picture of it. I have to show it to Eric.
What? No! Sam, maybe I'm wrong. Don't do this. It will complicate things between you guys. I was drunk that night.
Shut up and send it to me. I need to know. He needs to know. Receiving a call from Samantha after work was nothing new for me, but when I heard her voice, I knew something was wrong. Eric, did you ever find that custom-made gold pendant you gifted your father with your first salary? Her question confused me, but I still answered. No, he lost it in New York almost 3 years ago. Why?
I'll send you a picture. Can you please confirm it?
Okay. As I opened our chat, I saw the picture of the custom-made pendant I gave my dad 5 years ago. Where did you get it?
You sure it's your dad's?
Yeah, that's a harpy eagle. He was always fascinated by that bird, so that's why I got it made. And the eagle represents the USA, so yeah. How did you find it?
Frida has it.
What? How? Why does she have it?
She met your father 3 years ago in New York at a bar. She did not know he was married, and well, they talked and stuff. They chatted, he bought her drinks, and she soon got drunk. She was about to leave for her hotel, but he offered her a ride. But on the way, he kissed her. She was too drunk to even realize what was happening, and the next morning, she woke up in her room, naked. Your father raped my friend Eric. He is not the respectable man you thought he was. Have you gone crazy, Samantha? That's impossible. My father would never do it. I was there with her for some business purpose. She told me everything the next morning. He left his chain there, but by the time we started looking for him, he was gone. I can't believe you. Why are you saying this? Is it because my father didn't like you? Is that why you are accusing him of such a heinous crime? I knew you wouldn't believe me, Eric, but I never thought you'd think I'd say this about your father just out of pure spite. Don't believe me then, but ask him about Frida and how he enjoyed his stay in New York City 3 years ago. Bye. I'm sorry, Samantha. Samantha, pick up my call. My head was spinning. I did not know what to do. In the heat of the moment, I ended up saying something completely unreasonable and rude to her, but I needed to get this situation clear. The next day, I decided to visit my parents without any notice. They did not suspect anything, and when I found a chance, I decided to go through my father's unlocked phone. What I discovered, though, left me shattered. In his phone, he was talking to all these other women.
Some chats even mentioned how much they enjoyed having sex and when she could meet him again. He was cheating on my mom. That was enough for me to confirm that he raped Frida 3 years ago. Furious, when I confronted him of his wrongdoings in front of Mom, he started making all sorts of excuses. But when Samantha and Frida walked inside the room, he was speechless. That was the end of the righteous act he always played in front of us. Behind that mask was a disgusting man who used others for his pleasure. After researching a bit more, we found out Frida was not his only victim. He took advantage of a few other young women after getting drunk. The revelation filled my mom with grief, and I cut all contact with that man. My heartbroken mom soon filed a divorce, and Frida, along with the other girls, also filed a complaint against him. Some of his other friends from the army were also caught cheating in that process, and my father lost all the respect as a retired army man. Samantha helped the victims, and my dad was sent to jail for 4 years. While I felt betrayed and ashamed, a part of me was glad the man I had been chasing all my life for validation was a liar and a hypocrite. And the woman I am about to start a new chapter with helped me see the truth.